Hey guys, welcome back. Tonight we are making my creamy gluten-free tomato soup. The troops, as I call them, or the gang in my house, wants the tomato soup and my gourmet grilled cheese sandwiches. So we're gonna get those cooked up. This recipe is so simple, and at the end of the day, it's so good for you and it's so yummy. So anyways, I'm gonna start with 3 pounds of tomatoes. You can get a variety of any type of tomatoes that you want. I've got 8 garlic cloves already peeled, ready to go, and I had 3 medium onions that I've already chopped and quartered because I did not want to cry on camera. So all you do, there is no, doesn't have to be pretty. All we're doing is chopping these veggies up. I have my oven preheated at 450 degrees, and we're gonna go ahead and put all of this down on top of the baking sheet, and we're gonna roast it for 20 minutes. I'm gonna take 3 tablespoons of olive oil. I'm gonna drizzle that down on top with also a half a teaspoon of salt and a half a teaspoon of pepper. Okay, I'm just finishing up putting the salt down onto the vegetables. I've already done my pepper and my oil, and again, this is at a 450 degree oven, and I'm gonna roast this for about 25 minutes. Okay, my veggies just came out of the oven, and I am going to take all of them and put them directly right here into my big soup pan. So I'm just trying to avoid a little bit of a mess, but you want to take all of this, the tomatoes and all the juices that came off with this, with the parchment paper. Let's see if I can do this without making a complete and utter mess. Ooh, kind of, sort of. And you're going to want to put this all down into the soup pan. Then what we're gonna do, my lonely tomato over here, is I also have a teaspoon of salt and pepper, and I'm gonna go put that down. And then I'm also going to put 3 cups of, you can use chicken broth. I like to use bone broth, and this is actually a brand that I like to use, the Kettle and Fire. It has 22 grams of protein in it because it is a bone broth, so that way I'm adding some protein also to my soup. So I'm gonna put this down. Okay, I like to use my immersion blender because it's just a lot easier. If you don't have an immersion blender, you can easily use the blender that you have on your counter. This I just find it's just easy, and I can put it right here in my pot. So I'm going to put this down, and you're going to just blend it like this, and you're gonna keep going until you have a nice smooth soup. Okay, I have everything blended and pureed, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and put the lid on my pot. I'm gonna go put it back on my stove, and I'm gonna let it simmer and reduce for about 20 to 30 minutes on medium-low heat. All right, guys, the soup has been simmering for about 25 minutes. The last little steps is I'm gonna put 4 tablespoons of butter or ghee. We just typically use a lot of ghee in our house, so I'm gonna put 4 tablespoons of butter down. We have a half a cup of cream that I'm going to put down into our soup. And then you need fresh basil because you cannot have a tomato soup without fresh basil. So I have about 10 big leaves here. I'm just gonna break these off. And then I'm gonna finish this off with the immersion blender again, because this is just going to take the basil, put into tiny pieces. It's gonna blend that cream and your butter or ghee, and your soup will then be finished. All right, so we just did a couple quick little bursts with the immersion blender to mix all of the cream and chop up that basil nice and fine. That's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this recipe. In the description box below this video, you will find a link that will go directly to my blog, Red's Reality, where you can find the exact measurements, the recipe card, everything can be printed. Thank you guys so much for following along on my version of a gluten-free tomato soup. Take care.